Over here where I live, it's actually getting pretty hot. But the 10th movie on my list that is considered bad according to the internet from the list of movies that I have already seen is called Wish, year 2023, directed by Chris Buck and Fawn Veerasunthorn. Interesting last name. And so the story of this movie is about a 17-year-old Asha who lives in a magical kingdom called Rosas, where it's ruled by the powerful King Magnifico, who created this system of every resident handing over to the king their deepest desires, or their wish to the king, on their 18th birthday, and also having the side effects of forgetting all about it, which he kind of does, for the purpose of safekeeping and protection. And then eventually, each month, the king only grants one wish. But there are cases where imagine you are 100 years old and still haven't gotten your wish granted. That's actually way too long, because Asha's grandfather, Sabino's wish is a long lost dream of inspiring others. It can seem kind of vague, yes, but then Asha, applying for the assistant position, asked Magnifico if he can grant her grandfather's wish. I mean, he has waited for far too long, but Magnifico refuses her request, and then later dismisses her as an apprentice. Things are starting to look down, so then Asha impulsively wishes on a star, and then literally, a star has fallen on Earth from the sky. The cute star's powers give Asha's goat, Valentino, the ability to speak, and then later they also spark a rebellion against the king's tyranny. So in response, the king turns to forbidden dark magic to suppress the doubters and against Asha and her 7 friends. Well, I guess 6 because one of them did betray her, to have his wish granted to become a knight. And so Asha and her friends work together to free the sealed wishes. The now power-hungry king now captures the star to absorb more power, and also capturing the citizens as well. However, Asha now realizes it's time to begin to sing under the ending climax. And so she rallies up all the allies, all of the citizens, to reclaim their dreams and their wishes. All of their singings were powerful enough to break out of Magnifico's control, and they trapped him inside of his own staff. Afterwards, the Queen Amaya becomes the new ruler of the kingdom. Wishes are returned to their owners, and the cute yellow star give Asha a magical wand, like the fairy godmother in Cinderella, and then eventually returns to the sky. Asha has a new role of inspiring others, and Grandpa Sabino now was able to fulfill his own wish, finally and in happily ever after. Now with all that being said, now let's take a look at 3 main reasons why this movie is bad according to the internet.
According to the internet, the movie Wish has 3 main weaknesses. Number 1, a predictable story. Number 2, shallow characters. And number 3, style over substance. Now back to you.
Now the number 1 reason why this movie is bad according to the internet is predictable story. Now this movie is made as part of Disney's 100-year anniversary celebration, and so this movie was a disappointment, unfortunately. To honor the studio's history and also a long-lasting legacy, yes, we would have high expectations, but also it just felt like it was lacking in just the movie sense as well. There wasn't even any surprises, except for me, the person betraying them. Of Asha and the gang, I was surprised, but that's pretty much it. The steps of young protagonists with a dream, conflict with powerful antagonists, and evenly triumphant is not that bad, but how they did it was the issue for me. Just the climax could have worked if they also included before or after past build-up. Without that, it just feels too easy and too sudden for no reason. The story lacks risk or surprise on major twists and different styles of presenting the characters, but honestly, it didn't seem quite gravitating and feels a little bit predictable. And it just didn't feel enough was done for the cause or the story or the direction of the plot. I think we need to improve the backstory a little bit and reach out and do some more new ideas. So for this one, the first one, I would have to agree. The second reason being shallow characters, which is another similar issue with all these movies. I would have to agree with this one as well, because the main character Asha had very simple motivations and no depth, complexity, and meaningful growth. Did she actually change in some way? Personally, to me, it just didn't seem so, other than the fact that she wants to help her grandfather, which is a very kind thing to do for him. We don't see too much personal struggle, just mostly external obstacles that she has to face. She might be thinking that she's going against her kingdom, her friends, her country, and she might be internally conflicted on that, but her actions and her behavior later on doesn't really change or improve or go into a different direction. And another thing, what's her history? Real quick, I wish they could have showcased this scene more about the discussion of her and her father, showed more of that conversation and backstory, and then we can get a deeper connection to Asha. If she had real self-doubt out that could be resolved over time. Maybe she can show and share some of her personal past experiences. The King Magnifico has personality, and we see his drive of power, ambition, and insecurity, but we don't see his past clearly, about his past kingdom or home, and the family was destroyed by the invasion. I would love to have seen that or expand on that information and story so we, as an audience, could emotionally connect to it more to the main villain character. Having that would give the story of the movie much more impactful. Without this can confuse us with the actions taking place and him being evil. The cute star character was actually more of the highlight. It's cute and adorable, but it's kind of like a plot device rather than an actual character. I mean, you're telling me that Star can actually make the goat talk, but it can't himself? That was kind of frustrating to me. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but the goat kind of looks like Esmeralda's goat a little bit, kind of, and the goat was very uninteresting in my view. His jokes were not that great. I mean, the voice choice was kind of odd and nothing too noteworthy. Also, each of the 7 friends didn't shine at all, maybe except a couple of few, but the other ones were just there and really forgettable. The queen kind of shifted real fast. Like, I know your husband became evil, but they were a couple. They've been together for many years, and I just think she turned on him real fast. I thought she would be like, oh, I think I could fix him, or I'll stay by his side no matter what. But really, we don't have that kind of backstory, unfortunately. But to me, it was kind of shocking and really confusing. The third and last reason for this movie is style over substance. This one I would have to kind of agree. Now, the animation is somewhat good. It has vibrant colors, blending paint-like textures, but the story lacks story richness and character depth. Nothing is bold or pushed for plot development or emotional presentation. It kind of felt generic and surface level of the themes, and while the lesson of wish for your dreams or work on pursuing your dreams is a nice message, but narratively the movie felt short. Of course, it had references of other past films of what Disney created, and it was nice to see, like Wish Upon a Star, Pinocchio, Asha and her 7 friends representing Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. There was also the appearance of Peter Pan, the spaceship scene with Lilo and Stitch, King Magnifico of the Maleficent form based on Sleeping Beauty, and more. But this movie had a lot of potential. Sadly, it wasn't enough. Even some of the songs were quite disappointing, unfortunately. I did like the duet song and the climax song of people gathering together to sing together. Those are always somewhat emotional and motivation and inspiring, but overall, I just felt like they needed to go all out with this movie, especially because this is a 100-year anniversary celebration.
As you wish.